Some summers feel endless. Years later, you can close your eyes and still sense the sticky heat on your skin, hear the faint jingle of an ice cream truck, or smell the chlorine drifting from the neighborhood pool. They are the summers of scraped knees and whispered secrets, of shared popsicles and promises of forever friendships made beneath the stars. In the mid-1990s, a film arrived that captured that kind of summer with haunting perfection. It was called Now and Then. For an entire generation, it was more than just a movie. It was a mirror reflecting back their own youth. The film followed four girls navigating the fragile bridge between childhood and adolescence during one unforgettable summer in 1970. Among them was the innocent, cautious Chrissy Dewitt, with her neatly styled hair, her mistaken fondness for wine coolers she thought were fancy soda, and her loyal belief in rules. Chrissy was the heart of the group, sweet, naive, and endearing. The young actress who brought Chrissy to life was Ashleigh Aston, a gifted Canadian performer with expressive eyes and a knack for comedy that lit up every scene. She seemed destined for stardom. But like the fleeting summers the film immortalized, Ashleigh's presence vanished. She disappeared entirely from the public eye, leaving behind only the memory of her role. Years later, devastating news emerged. News so tragic that fans struggled to reconcile it with the sunny image of the girl they remembered on screen. This is not just the tale of the actress behind Chrissy Dewitt. It is the story of Ashleigh Aston, a bright promise overshadowed by darkness, a cautionary tale about the cost of early fame, the illusions of appearances, and the silent struggles that unfold far from the spotlight. Early life and rise in acting. To understand Ashleigh's journey, we must first step into the cultural world that shaped her. The 1990s were a golden time for child actors. Television overflowed with family-friendly sitcoms, and Hollywood churned out heartfelt coming-of-age films. Young talent was in high demand, but with opportunity came immense pressure. Fame then felt larger, more mysterious, and perhaps even more overwhelming than it does today. Ashleigh was born in Sunnyvale, California, but grew up in British Columbia, Canada, home to a bustling film industry nicknamed Hollywood North. This environment gave her a fertile stage to develop as a performer. She began her career at just 4 years old, starring in commercials, and by age 10, she landed a pivotal role in the Canadian fantasy series The Odyssey. The show was strikingly dark for a children's program, weaving surrealist adventure with real-world themes. Ashleigh played Donna, a tough, resourceful character whose strength revealed the young actress's range. She could balance vulnerability with resilience, and her presence on screen was undeniable. The role brought her to the attention of casting directors beyond Canada, opening doors to guest spots on popular American shows like Northern Exposure and Madison. As her resume grew, so did her reputation. She wasn't just another child actor. She was a serious performer with extraordinary potential. The breakthrough, Now and Then. The mid-1990s also saw a wave of nostalgic films capturing the magic and pain of growing up. The Sandlot, My Girl, and A Little Princess resonated deeply with audiences. Into this atmosphere came a script by Marlene King, later known for Pretty Little Liars. Her screenplay, Now and Then, was a semi-autobiographical ode to female friendship, infused with authenticity and heartfelt nostalgia. The project quickly attracted a stellar cast. Demi Moore, Melanie Griffith, Rosie O'Donnell, and Rita Wilson signed on to play the adult versions of the 4 central characters. Casting their 12-year-old counterparts became the most critical challenge. Christina Ricci, already a star, was cast as Roberta. Thora Birch took the role of Teenie, and Gaby Hoffmann became Samantha. The final piece, The sheltered, good-hearted Chrissy needed someone who could embody innocence without turning it into caricature. Ashleigh Aston Moore was perfect. At 13, she was cast in the role that would define her career. Filming became a summer adventure of its own. The young actresses lived together, shared sleepovers, and explored the Georgia town where production took place. Their off-screen bond mirrored their on-screen friendship, creating a sense of realism that audiences still feel today. Ashleigh understood Chrissy deeply. She played her as a warrior with a heart of gold, someone who packed for every possible emergency yet panicked at the mention of French kissing. The now iconic pudding scene, in which Chrissy silently reconciles with her friends through a perfectly prepared dessert, showcased Ashleigh's brilliance. With no words, she conveyed stubbornness, hurt, and longing for connection, all at once. When Now and Then premiered in 1995, critics were lukewarm, calling it sentimental. But audiences, especially young women, embraced it wholeheartedly. The film became a cult classic, and Ashleigh's performance gave Chrissy Dewitt a permanent place in the memory of 90s girlhood. Leaving Hollywood. After her breakthrough, Ashleigh seemed poised for stardom. She appeared in episodes of Touched by an Angel and other projects. The path to bigger roles felt inevitable. But then, in 1997, at just 16 years old, she walked away. The decision, Ashleigh later explained, came at her parents' urging. They wanted her to experience a normal adolescence, school, friends, and life away from the intense spotlight of Hollywood. Their choice reflected love and protection, given the many tragic stories of child stars before her. For Ashleigh, though, the shift was jarring. Acting had been her life since preschool. Overnight, she went from being a recognized actress to just another student in British Columbia. She enrolled in college and for a while tried to adjust. But losing her career also meant losing an identity. For many child actors, the structure and validation of work becomes central to who they are. Without it, Ashleigh faced disorientation and struggle. Private battles. Details about Ashleigh's life after leaving Hollywood are limited, pieced together from memories of those close to her. Friends describe her as warm, compassionate, and witty, but also as someone quietly battling inner demons. She faced depression and, eventually, substance abuse. Sadly, her struggles were far from unique among child actors. Addiction has cut short the lives of many who once seemed destined for greatness. Ashleigh's story forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about the entertainment industry. What support systems exist for young performers after fame fades? Are we doing enough to protect them from the psychological toll of early success? Despite her parents' well-meaning decisions, the void left by losing her career proved heavy. Her battle became part of a broader narrative, the hidden costs of child stardom. A life cut short. Ashleigh lived quietly in her final years, away from the public spotlight. Then, on December 10, 2007, tragedy struck. She was found unconscious in her Richmond, British Columbia apartment and rushed to the hospital. At just 26 years old, she was pronounced dead. The official report first cited an accidental overdose from pneumonia and bronchitis medication, but later accounts confirmed heroin involvement. Her death went largely unnoticed in mainstream entertainment news, surfacing only in local reports. It wasn't until years later, as nostalgia for the 90s grew online, that fans rediscovered her story. The revelation sent waves of shock through communities that cherished Now and Then. For many, learning of Ashleigh's fate felt like a betrayal of the sunny innocence her character represented. Legacy and lessons. Ashleigh Aston Moore's story changed the way audiences view Now and Then. The film is no longer just a nostalgic look at girlhood. It is now shaded with melancholy. Chrissy's innocence, once lighthearted, now feels bittersweet when we remember the actress who portrayed her never lived to see adulthood fully realized. Her story also deepens the ongoing conversation about child actors and mental health. She is remembered alongside others like Jonathan Brandis, Brad Renfro, and Dana Plato, whose lives ended too soon. Together, their stories form a stark reminder. Behind the smiling faces on our screens often lies hidden pain. What can we learn from Ashleigh's life? That appearances deceive. That addiction is not a moral failing but a disease that devastates regardless of success or promise. That child stardom carries risks we cannot ignore. Ashleigh's tragedy underscores the urgent need for stronger support networks for young performers, before, during, and after fame. Conclusion. Ashleigh Aston deserved more roles, more summers, more time. Instead, her story became a cautionary tale woven into the history of 90s cinema. But her legacy need not be defined only by tragedy. Through her performance, she gave audiences laughter, warmth, and unforgettable memories. She remains frozen in film, forever that bright young girl with the big heart. When we remember her, we should honor not just her loss but also her light. She may have vanished too soon, but in that one perfect summer she shared with us, she created something that will never fade.